heard the mission bell.
What if I told you the 70s weren't just about bell-bottoms and disco balls? Tucked inside the smoke and neon were 10 rock anthems, not just songs, but statements. These weren't hidden gems, they were the backbone of every mixtape, every road trip, every FM radio dial. Let's rewind to the decade when rock ruled and the legends were just getting started. This is the sound of the 70s. 10 tracks that never left us. Number 1, Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Singing songs about Southland.
Sweet Home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Few songs capture a region and a moment quite like this one. Released in 1974, Sweet Home Alabama wasn't just a Southern rock anthem. It was a musical declaration of identity. Pride, defiance, and rebellion, all wrapped in a 3-chord guitar riff that's instantly recognizable from the very first note. Written as a response to Neil Young's critical portrayals of the South, Skynyrd flipped the script. They weren't interested in apologizing, they were too busy cranking up the volume. And yet, beneath the swagger, there's clever songwriting and tight musicianship. The track was recorded at Studio One in Georgia, and the band nailed it in just a few takes. That guitar lick, it wasn't polished, it was primal. It didn't ask for permission, it just kicked the door in. When it hit number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, the band's place in American rock history was sealed. It became a stadium staple, a bar jukebox essential, and a radio fixture that never truly left rotation. This wasn't just Alabama's anthem, it was America's for a while. And nearly 50 years later, it still plays like a road trip with the windows down.
Sweet home Alabama.
Number 2, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
All that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway.
There's a lady who's sure. All that glitters is gold. You've heard it, you've felt it. Stairway to Heaven wasn't just a song, it was a rite of passage. Released in late 1971, it never charted on the Billboard Hot 100 because it was never officially released as a single in the United States. And yet, somehow, it became the most played rock song in radio history. It starts as a whisper, acoustic guitars, flutes, mystery. Then, layer by layer, it builds, slowly, deliberately, into something massive. By the time Jimmy Page's guitar solo hits, it's not just music anymore, it's myth.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
The band recorded it at Headley Grange, a remote English mansion where they set up mobile studios and let creativity run wild. Robert Plant claimed the lyrics just flowed through him, as if the song already existed somewhere in the ether. Page called it their musical showcase, and he wasn't wrong. No chorus, no rules, 8 minutes long. And yet, every second of it feels earned. Even after all these years. All the overplaying, all the cover versions. Stairway still climbs. Every single time. No chart needed. This was legend by word of mouth.
Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven.
Number 3, Hotel California by Eagles.
On the dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
Hotel California wasn't just a hit, it was a cinematic experience. Released in 1976, this 6.5-minute epic climbed straight to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned the Eagles a Grammy for Record of the Year. But it wasn't the awards that made it iconic. It was the mood, the mystery, a surreal tale of excess, temptation, and the trap of fame wrapped in haunting lyrics and sun-drenched guitars.
Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light.
The recording sessions were intense. Don Felder crafted the unforgettable intro on a 12-string guitar, while Don Henley and Glenn Frey sculpted the story, a kind of West Coast Twilight Zone. And that dual guitar solo at the end, Felder and Joe Walsh weaving in and out of each other, it's ranked among the greatest in rock history. Some say it's about Hollywood. Others think it's a metaphor for the American dream gone sideways. But whatever it means, one thing is clear. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
There she stood in the doorway, heard the mission bell.
Number 4, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Look up to the skies and see.
The first time people heard Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975, most didn't know what to make of it. 6 minutes, no chorus, an operatic middle section. It was everything a hit song wasn't supposed to be, and somehow it became one of the most beloved rock songs of all time. Freddie Mercury had the entire structure in his head before Queen ever stepped into the studio. It took weeks to record, with over 180 vocal overdubs, tape reels stretched to their limit, and entire days spent on a single word of harmony.
Mama just killed a man.
Producer Roy Thomas Baker called it the most elaborate recording in history, and yet it never feels bloated, it just works. Critics were baffled, radio stations were hesitant, but once it hit the airwaves, fans couldn't get enough. In the United States, it peaked at number 9 in 1976 and returned to the charts in 1992 thanks to Wayne's World, climbing even higher. It wasn't just a song, it was a risk, and Queen made it immortal. Number 5, Dream On by Aerosmith.
Every time that I look in the mirror.
Dream on, dream until your dreams come true. For the leather pants before the stadium tours, there was this. Released in 1973, Dream On was Aerosmith's first single, and it almost didn't work. At first, it only scraped the charts, barely cracking the top 60. But something about that haunting piano, that slow burn of emotion stuck. Steven Tyler wrote it when he was still a teenager, long before the big fame. He called it his coming-of-age song, a reflection on time, legacy, and the fear of fading away.
Everybody's got the dues in life to pay.
And when he hits that high note near the end, it's not just a scream, it's a mission statement. The song got a second life in 1976 when it was re-released. This time, America was ready. It soared to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the band's first real anthem. For Aerosmith, Dream On wasn't just a hit, it was the blueprint, the start of everything. And 5 decades later, that final wail still sends shivers.
Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the laughter, sing for the tears.
Number 6, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac.
How can I, when you won't take it from me?
Breakups have inspired a lot of great songs, but none hit quite like this. Released in late 1976 as the lead single from Rumour's Go Your Own Way, wasn't just about love lost. It was Lindsey Buckingham writing directly to Stevie Nicks and then recording it with her singing backup. The tension wasn't just in the lyrics, it was in the room. Fleetwood Mac was falling apart personally, but professionally they were on fire. Buckingham's choppy acoustic rhythm, Mick Fleetwood's explosive drums, and those perfectly layered harmonies made the track soar.
You can go your own way, go your own way.
Recorded at the record plant in Sausalito, California, it took months to get right. The band fought over everything: tempo, tone, even the bitterness in the words. But the end result? Timeless. It peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helped launch Rumours into the stratosphere, one of the best-selling albums of all time. Go Your Own Way wasn't just a breakup song. It was proof that sometimes chaos creates magic.
You can call it another day.
Number 7, More Than a Feeling by Boston.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone.
Boston didn't look like your typical breakout band, and they didn't sound like one either. When More Than a Feeling hit the airwaves in 1976, it felt too polished to be a debut. But that's because Tom Scholz had been obsessing over it for years, quietly recording in his basement after work, chasing a sound that only existed in his head. What he created was a wall of harmonized guitars, layered vocals, and a melody that felt instantly familiar. It wasn't just catchy, it was emotionally precise. A song about the power of memory, wrapped in arena-sized production. When it dropped, it exploded. The single reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helped push Boston's debut album to become one of the best-selling in United States history. Not bad for a guy who recorded it alone, then hired a band afterward. More Than a Feeling proved you didn't need chaos to make rock magic, just vision and perfectionism. Number 8, Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones. By the time 1971 rolled around, the Rolling Stones weren't chasing rock and roll, they were rock and roll. And Brown Sugar, that was their swagger anthem. Raw, riff-driven, and impossible to ignore, it kicked off the Sticky Fingers album with a punch straight to the gut. Keith Richards wrote the riff in a drug-fueled haze, and the band tracked it at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio in Alabama, one of the most legendary rooms in music history.
Brown sugar, how come you taste so good?
Mick Jagger's lyrics? Controversial then and now, but undeniably bold. It was dirty, loose, and unapologetically Stones. The track shot to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and set the tone for the decade. Raunchy, rebellious, and loud. It opened their live shows for years and became a defining moment in their catalog. Brown Sugar wasn't trying to be safe. It was trying to burn the house down, and it pretty much did. Number 9, Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd.
Is there anyone at home? Come on.
By the time Pink Floyd released The Wall in 1979, they were no longer just a band, they were a force. And buried inside that sprawling concept album was a moment of pure transcendence, Comfortably Numb. Written by David Gilmour and Roger Waters, the song captures emotional detachment with haunting precision. It tells the story of an artist numbed by fame, drugs, and disconnection, but it's Gilmour's guitar solo that truly says it all. Soaring, soulful, and voted time and again as one of the greatest solos in rock history.
When I was a child, I had a fever.
The recording wasn't smooth. Gilmour and Waters clashed over nearly everything, including how the verses should sound. But that creative tension gave the song its edge, a perfect blend of icy narrative and warm musical release. While it never cracked the top 40 in the United States at the time, it became a cult favorite, a slow-burning classic that grew in stature with every passing year. Comfortably Numb isn't just a song, it's a state of mind. And once you've heard it, it stays with you.
You are only coming through in waves.
Number 10, Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen.
In the day we sweat out on the streets of a runaway American dream.
This was the song that changed everything. For Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run wasn't just a track, it was his shot. Written in a tiny New Jersey apartment and recorded with a desperation you can feel, it was built to break him out of local bars and onto the national stage. It took over 6 months to finish. Springsteen obsessed over every lyric, every drum fill, every guitar tone, even calling it a mini symphony. In that wall of sound, inspired by Phil Spector, but with Bruce's heart all over it. Released in 1975, it peaked at just number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100. But chart placement didn't matter. This was the anthem of the restless, the kids with dreams bigger than their hometowns. Born to Run captured that lightning in a bottle feeling of needing more, of hitting the gas, no seatbelt, radio blaring, chasing something better. And for Springsteen, it wasn't just a hit, it was the beginning of the legend. These weren't just songs, they were eras in themselves. And while the charts moved on, the guitars never really faded. So tell us, which one of these songs still hits you right in the chest? And which track would you add to this list of 70s rock royalty? Drop it in the comments, we're reading every memory.